my privilege being with you once more. I say welcome to another edition of our video lessons. Today we'll be looking at the topic, the question number 5 of the section A. And remember, I told you that section A is a section in which you are required to answer 5 compulsory questions, and those 5 questions carry 8 marks each. Now you know what it will give you if you can get one question correctly. Today we'll be looking at question number 5 of that section A, and we'll be looking at probability, which is a question from probability. Are you subscribed to my channel? I say thanks to you for tuning on and watching this video. And if you are not subscribed yet, I urge you to hit the subscribe button, because on this channel you get the best of mathematics videos you need for to help you get good grades in your exams. Today we'll be looking at the topic probability, and the question says a die was rolled a number of times. The outcomes are shown in the table above. Now the question says if the probability of obtaining 2 is 0.5. The question says find the value of m, that is A, and the number B question says find the number of times the die was rolled, and the third question says find the probability of getting an even number. Now if you are given this kind of question, first thing you should recall is that probability has to do with required outcome all over the total outcome. So whenever you are given any topic on probability, I want you to put that at the back of your mind. And I want you to know that we have a full-blown video on probability. You can check our playlist for JAM and you'll find out that video there. Now we want to look at how we go about solving this question. Remember, I told you that probability is equal to what? The required outcome all over the what? All over the total what? The total outcome. And when carrying out probability, you should note that and in probability signify what? Multiplication, and or in probability signifies what? Addition. So whenever you are doing any topic on probability, it is very important that you note this point. This point is going to help you go a long way in solving questions. Now remember the first question. The first question says if the probability of obtaining 2 is 0.15, it says you should find the value of m. Now, if the probability of getting a 2 is equal to 0.15, they say you should find the value of m. Now how do we go about finding the value of m? Remember, I told you probability is the required outcome all over the what? The total outcome. So from here we are going to look at the total outcomes, and remember in this question number A, our required outcome is what? Is m. So the total outcome is what we are going to look for. For we to get our total outcome, we have to add all these parameters, and that will give us what? 32 plus what? Plus m plus what? 25 plus 40 plus 28 plus what? 45. And that will be equal to what? If we add this, 32 plus 25 will give us 57, right? 57 plus 40 will give us what? 97. 97 plus 45 will give us what? That will give us this will give us 2, like 12, and then we take over 110, that will give you 14. That's 142. Then 142 plus 28 will give us what? 0, and this will give us what? 7 what? 1. So that will give us 170 plus what? Plus m. That's the value we are going to get from that. So having gotten that value, the next thing we need to do is to apply the formulas for our probability. Remember, we told you that probability is the what? Is the total required outcome over the total outcome. Remember the question, they say you should find the value of what? So the probability of picking a 2, of obtaining a 2, they say is equal to what? 0.15. I remember 0.15, if we convert it to a fraction, this will be what? Divided by what? This divided by 5 will give us 3. This divided by 5 will give us what? 2. So this will be what? 3 over what? 20, right? Good. So that will be required outcome over the total outcome, and the required outcome is equal to m. The total outcome is what? 170 plus what? M, and they say it is equal to what? 3 over what? 20. So with this equation now, we can be able to find the value of m. Now all we need to do is to what? Is to cross multiply. So our 20 m here will be equal to what? 3 into bracket 170 plus what? Plus m. Now haven't arrived at this, we'll have to multiply this with everything inside. This will give us what? 20m equal to 3 times 70 times 3. That will give you 0. 7 times 3, 21. You write 1, you take over 1. 3 times 1 will give us 4 plus 1. That's 510 plus what? 3 what? M. So gradually we are pulling off. Now let's look at the value of m. Now having gotten this, our 20m now, this will come over here to give us minus what? 3m will be equal to 500 what? And 10. Now we have to reduce this. This minus this will give us 17m equal to what? 500 what? And 10. So our m now will be equal to 510 divided by 17. So m will be equal to what? 510 divided by 17 will give us a what? Will give us a 30. So if you use your calculator, because you're allowed to do that in the exam, you can use your calculator. If you do that, we are going to get 500 and we're going to get 30. So that is exactly the value you get when you do that. So you see, we've gotten the answer to the first question number M. So the next question B, says find the number of times the die was rolled. Now they say you should find the number of times the die was rolled. Now remember, to find the number of times the die was rolled, so for we to find the number of times the die was rolled, we need to look at the what? The total outcome. Now the total outcome will tell us the number of times the dice was rolled. Now you know a dice have 6 sides. So these 6 sides, number of outcome is 32. One that when you roll the dice, 1 comes out 32 times. That's the outcome for getting a 1. The outcome of getting a 2 is 30 times, as we have found out that our m now is equal to what? 30. So for we to find out the number of times in which the die was rolled, we are going to calculate the total what? The total outcome. That's question number B. So for we to calculate the total outcome, remember we did it last time and we got what? We got 170 plus what? Plus m. So in order to save time, we'll have our 170 plus what? Plus 30, which is equal to what? 200 what? Times. So that time it was rolled what? 200 what? Times. So you see, once you start solving the first question, the answers start popping out of all the questions. Now the final question number C, they said you should do what? They said you should find the probability of getting an even number. Now the probability of getting an even number, we have the probability that of getting what? And what? An even what? Number. So you see now, when you are doing probability, you need to know mathematics in-depthly. You need to know numbers that are odd, you need to know numbers that are even, you need to know multiples of numbers, you need to know prime numbers. All these things are definitions you need to be conversant with. I'm going to get a video that will tell us how to divide most of these terms, and that video is going to be great. Once you watch that video, you can be able to know how to divide these terms in mathematics, and it makes your job learning easy. Now, even numbers are numbers like what? 2. Even numbers are numbers that can be divided by themselves, and also 2. Any number that can be divided by 2 is an even number. So we have 2, we have 4, we have what? 6. So the probability of getting an even number is the probability of getting a 2, a 4, or a what? Or a 6. So you see, is the probability of getting a 2, a 4, or a 6. All these are the even number. I remember I told you something that in probability, and signifies what? Multiplication, and or is what? Or is addition. So whenever you see the probability of getting an even number is whether you're getting a 2 or a 4 or a what? Or a 6. Now the probability of getting a 2, remember, probability is the required outcome over the total outcome. So the required outcome is a value, the outcome of 2, and the total outcome will be what? Over 200. So that will give us the outcome of 2, which is what? 30 over what? 200, plus the outcome of 4 is what? 40 over what? 200, plus the outcome of 6 is what? 45 over what? 200. Now if they ask you the probability of getting a 5, the probability of getting a 5 is not 5 over 200, is outcome for 5 all over the what? The total outcome, and that is the required outcome over the total outcome. So if we do that, we are going to get a unique value. Now let's do that to see what we'll get as the result. Now if we do that, we are going to have, since all of them have the same denominator, we'll have this to be what? 30 plus what? 40 plus what? 45, all divided by what? 200. 30 plus 40 is what? 70. 70 plus what? 45. That will give you 5. And this will give you what? 11. So that is going to give you 115 divided by what? By 200. Now we can reduce this to the barest minimum. What do we need to do? All we need to do is 5 here will give us 4, 5 here will give us 2, remainder what? Remainder 1. 5 and 15 will give us what? 3. So here we're going to have 23 over what? Over 40. So the probability of picking or getting an even number is what? 23 over 40. So you see, solving probability can be easy, and once you can solve this comfortably, you have gotten your what? Your 8 marks chilling down for you. So you see, that section A are areas of your syllabus that you can easily play with, and when you learn solving questions that has to do with such topics, you get probability, you get statistics, you get histogram, you get all those little topics. If you are used to solving them, you can be able to solve and get at least 30 from that 40 mark, or if most come to us, you get what? Your 25 out of that. So this is exactly what you need to know. Next week we'll be looking at the section B, and we'll start solving questions from the section B. Thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I want you to hit the subscribe button so that when subsequent video comes up, you can be able to get it first and you learn a lot from our video lessons. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you watch our next videos.